The quantum anomaly appeared on Dr. Sarah Chen's monitors at exactly 3:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At first, she assumed it was an error in the new quantum detection array she'd helped install at the CERN facility. The reading suggested something impossible, a perfectly stable quantum state maintaining coherence across several kilometers of space. "Hey Marcus, are you seeing this?" she called out to her colleague, who was dozing in front of his own terminal. Dr. Marcus Kumar jolted awake, adjusting his glasses as he peered at his screen. That can't be right. The array must be malfunctioning." But it wasn't malfunctioning. As they watched, the anomaly grew larger, its quantum signature becoming more pronounced. What happened next would change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe forever. A message, encoded in the quantum fluctuations themselves, began streaming through their systems. It took their quantum computers less than an hour to decode it, and when they did, Sarah felt her blood run cold. To the governing bodies of Earth, the message began: "You have been noticed by the Galactic Federation of Aligned Worlds. Your recent advances in quantum computing and artificial consciousness have exceeded acceptable parameters for an unregistered species. You have achieved in decades what should have taken millennia. This rate of advancement poses an unacceptable risk to galactic stability." Sarah and Marcus exchanged glances as they continued reading. The message went on to detail how Earth had tripped numerous monitoring protocols with its recent technological breakthroughs, particularly in the field of quantum computing. The Federation, it seemed, had been watching humanity for centuries, expecting our development to follow predictable patterns. We hadn't. Within hours, the message had been verified by quantum detection arrays across the globe. Emergency meetings were called in every major government. Sarah found herself rushed to Washington, D.C., trying to explain the implications to rooms full of increasingly worried officials. The technology they're using to send this message, she explained to yet another emergency committee, it's beyond anything we've even theorized. They're manipulating quantum states across vast distances with perfect precision. It's like they're rewriting the laws of physics as we understand them. But it was Dr. Kumar who noticed something odd about the message's quantum signature. "There's a pattern here," he said during one of their brief breaks between briefings. "The way they're encoding the message, it's efficient, yes, but it's also rigid, predetermined, like they're following a script they've used 1,000 times before." Sarah understood what he meant. Despite the Federation's incredible technological advancement, there was something almost mechanical about their approach. It lacked the creative leaps that had characterized humanity's recent technological explosion. The Federation's message concluded with an ultimatum. Earth had one standard galactic year, approximately 1.5 Earth years, to demonstrate that we could slow our technological advancement to acceptable levels. If we failed to comply, they would implement standard containment protocols. The threat was clear, even if the specific consequences weren't spelled out. But as Sarah reviewed the quantum signatures for the 100th time, she began to see what Marcus had noticed. The Federation's technology was incredibly advanced, yes, but it was also predictable. Every quantum state was perfectly aligned, every pattern following exact mathematical progressions. "They've lost something," she muttered to herself, drawing curious looks from the other scientists in the room. In all their advancement, they've lost the ability to make creative leaps. Everything they do is optimized, perfect, and completely bound by their own rules. As the world governments argued about how to respond to the ultimatum, Sarah and Marcus began working on something that would either save humanity or doom it entirely. Because they had realized something crucial. The Federation's message hadn't just been a threat. It had also been a window into their technology. And in their attempt to demonstrate their superiority, they had revealed their greatest weakness. The question was, could humanity exploit that weakness before the Federation decided we were too dangerous to allow to exist? Sarah had a feeling they were about to find out, and sooner rather than later. In the weeks that followed, as panic gripped much of the world's population, A small team of scientists and researchers began to form around Sarah and Marcus's discovery. They worked in secret, knowing that their efforts might be humanity's only chance at survival. What they were attempting had never been done before, but then again, that was humanity's specialty. While the Federation had perfected the art of optimization, humanity had perfected something far more valuable, the art of innovation. As Sarah looked out over the hastily assembled quantum lab, watching researchers from dozens of countries working together with a single purpose, she couldn't help but smile. The Federation thought humanity's rapid advancement was a threat to galactic stability. They were about to learn just how right they were. The discovery came 3 months after the Federation's ultimatum, in a basement lab that had once been a storage room. Dr. Marcus Kumar was reviewing the latest quantum signature analyses when he noticed something that everyone else had missed. "Sarah," he called out, his voice echoing through the makeshift facility. "I need you to look at this." Dr. Sarah Chen had been working for 20 hours straight, but she rushed over immediately. Sleep could wait. It always did these days. As she looked at Marcus's screen, her exhaustion vanished. "The quantum fluctuations," she whispered. "They're not just carrying the message." Marcus nodded excitedly. "They're carrying their entire processing architecture. Every quantum state is perfectly aligned because it has to be. Their whole system depends on absolute precision." The Federation's message hadn't just been a warning. It had been a complete blueprint of their quantum computing methodology. In their arrogance, they had assumed that a primitive species like humanity wouldn't be able to decode anything beyond the surface message. They were wrong. "Look at how they handle quantum entanglement," Sarah said, pointing to a particular pattern in the data. "It's incredibly advanced, but it's also rigid," Marcus finished. "They've optimized their quantum computing to the point where it can only follow predetermined patterns. They've traded creativity for perfection." This was why the Federation feared humanity's rapid advancement. We hadn't followed their carefully optimized path of development. We had made intuitive leaps, taken shortcuts, found solutions that shouldn't have been possible according to their carefully calculated models. The next day, Sarah and Marcus presented their findings to the International Defense Council, a newly formed body tasked with coordinating humanity's response to the Federation threat. "Their technology is far more advanced than ours," Sarah explained to the assembled leaders. "But it's also fundamentally limited. They've developed their quantum computing systems to be perfect, but that perfection comes at a cost. They can't adapt, can't improvise. Every solution has to follow their established patterns." Marcus stepped forward. "We found something else. Their quantum systems. They can't handle chaos. Random quantum fluctuations disrupt their perfect patterns. And humans, our brains naturally generate quantum chaos." This was the key. Human consciousness itself created quantum patterns that were unpredictable, chaotic. While the Federation had spent millennia perfecting ways to eliminate quantum uncertainty from their systems, humanity had evolved alongside it. "We don't need to match their level of technology," Sarah continued. "We just need to introduce enough quantum chaos into their systems to disrupt their perfect patterns, and we already have the perfect tool for that. Ourselves." The plan they proposed was audacious. Using their understanding of the Federation's quantum architecture, they would build interfaces that could translate human neural patterns into quantum disruptions. Every human mind would become a weapon against the Federation's perfectly ordered systems. Not everyone was convinced. "You're talking about betting humanity's survival on the fact that we're messy thinkers," one general objected. "No," Sarah corrected. "We're betting our survival on the fact that we're creative thinkers. The Federation has optimized their technology to the point where it can't handle the unexpected. We're going to give them the unexpected." Work began immediately. The world's quantum computing facilities were converted to develop the neural interfaces. Traditional defensive preparations continued, but now they had a secret weapon in development. The first tests were promising. When connected to the quantum interface, human subjects could generate patterns that would be impossible according to the Federation's rigid quantum architecture. Each human mind created its own unique quantum signature, unpredictable and impossible to counter using the Federation's perfectly ordered systems. But they needed more than just disruption. They needed a way to coordinate humanity's quantum chaos into a coherent defense system. That's when Dr. Maya Patel, a brilliant young physicist from Mumbai, made another breakthrough. "We don't need to coordinate," she explained to Sarah and Marcus. "That's thinking like them. We need to embrace the chaos. Create a quantum defense network that operates like a human neural network, adaptive, unpredictable, and inherently resistant to their rigid systems." As the deadline approached, humanity raced to implement Maya's insight. They weren't building a traditional defense system. They were building something the Federation couldn't possibly have predicted, a quantum network that drew its strength from the very chaos they had spent millennia trying to eliminate. Sarah often found herself working late into the night, staring at the quantum patterns generated by the test subjects. They were beautiful in their chaos, each one unique, each one impossible according to the Federation's understanding of how quantum systems should work. "They thought our rapid advancement was dangerous," she said to Marcus one night. "They had no idea that the real threat was in how we think." The Federation had given humanity a year and a half to demonstrate that we could slow our advancement to acceptable levels. Instead, we were about to show them something they had never seen before, a species that had turned quantum chaos itself into a weapon. The only question was, would it be enough when the Federation finally decided to act? The quantum network came online 6 months before the Federation's deadline. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in the central control room of the Global Defense Initiative's underground facility, watching as thousands of neural interfaces activated simultaneously across the globe. The displays showed a visualization of human consciousness translated into quantum states, a swirling, ever-changing pattern that defied conventional physics. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "Neural sync at 97% and holding," Dr. Maya Patel announced, her fingers dancing across her console. "Quantum coherence is stable. Well, as stable as chaos can be." Marcus looked up from his own station, a rare smile on his tired face. "They're going to hate this so much." They didn't have to wait long to find out. The Federation's response came just hours after the network activated. Their quantum sensors had detected the unprecedented disruption in what they considered the natural order of quantum space. The message arrived in the same perfectly ordered quantum states as before. "Unauthorized quantum manipulation detected. Cease these activities immediately. This is your only warning." Sarah exchanged glances with Marcus and Maya. The Federation's message carried the same rigid patterns they had seen before, but now they could see something else, traces of uncertainty. Their perfect systems couldn't quite process what humanity was doing. "They're scared," Maya said softly. "They've never seen anything like this before." Before anyone could respond, the quantum sensors lit up with new alerts. The Federation had launched their first attack, not with ships or weapons, but with quantum intrusion protocols designed to seize control of Earth's electronic infrastructure. "This is it," Sarah called out. "Initiating defense protocols." The human quantum network responded instantly. As the Federation's perfectly ordered quantum attacks encountered the chaotic patterns generated by human consciousness, something remarkable happened. The Federation's protocols didn't just fail, they shattered against the unpredictable quantum states of human thought. On screens around the world, technicians and scientists watched in amazement as the Federation's attack dissolved into quantum noise. Every attempt to establish control was met with a surge of human-generated chaos that their rigid systems couldn't process. "They're trying to adapt," Marcus reported, watching the patterns shift. "But they can't. Their systems are too optimized, too perfect. They can't handle the randomness we're generating." The attack lasted for 6 hours. The Federation tried every pre-programmed solution in their vast database, every optimized approach they had perfected over millennia. Nothing worked. Human consciousness, translated into quantum states, proved to be the perfect defense against their perfect systems. When it was over, Sarah addressed the Global Defense Council. The Federation's attack failed, but this was just a test. They were probing our defenses, trying to understand what we've created. They'll be back, and next time, they'll try something bigger. She was right. Over the next few weeks, the Federation launched increasingly sophisticated attacks. Each time, they attempted to impose their ordered quantum states on Earth's systems, and each time, they were repelled by the chaotic quantum patterns of human consciousness. But Sarah and her team weren't just playing defense. Every attack gave them more data about the Federation's quantum architecture. Maya led a team developing what they called quantum chaos bombs, concentrated bursts of human-generated quantum patterns designed to disrupt Federation systems. The first test of these weapons came when they detected a Federation probe attempting to establish a quantum link with Earth's satellite network. Instead of just blocking the intrusion, they launched a counterattack. The result exceeded their wildest expectations. The probe's quantum systems, encountered with pure human chaos, completely shut down. It was their first concrete proof that they could not only defend against the Federation, but actively fight back. "Do you think they understand what's happening?" Maya asked one evening, as they reviewed the data from their latest successful defense. Sarah shook her head. How could they? They'd spent thousands of years perfecting order, eliminating uncertainty. We're showing them something their perfect systems tell them shouldn't be possible. Marcus looked up from his work. They gave us a deadline to prove we could slow down our advancement. Instead, we're showing them why they should have been even more worried than they were. The Federation's deadline was approaching rapidly. Everyone knew they wouldn't accept humanity's defiance. The only question was what form their response would take. The quantum defense network had proven itself against their digital attacks, but what would happen when they decided to use their full military might? Sarah stood at her usual spot in the control room, watching the quantum pattern swirl across the main display. Humanity had turned its greatest weakness, its chaos, its unpredictability, its stubborn refusal to follow the expected path, into its greatest strength. Now they just had to hope it would be enough for what was coming next. The Federation's warships arrived exactly 1 day before their deadline. They emerged from quantum space in perfect formation, a fleet of crystalline vessels that seemed to bend light around them. Their arrival was both beautiful and terrifying, a display of technological advancement that made Earth's greatest achievements look primitive in comparison. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the feed from Earth's orbital sensors, her heart racing. The quantum defense network hummed around her, thousands of human minds generating patterns of beautiful chaos that now served as humanity's shield. 743 ships, Dr. Maya Patel reported, her voice steady despite the tension. Their quantum signatures they're unlike anything we've seen in their previous attacks. Dr. Marcus Kumar studied the readings with intense focus. The ships themselves are quantum computers, living crystalline structures maintaining perfect quantum coherence at a macroscopic scale. It should be impossible. Everything they do should be impossible, Sarah replied. Yet here we are. The Federation's message arrived moments later, transmitted simultaneously to every quantum-capable receiver on Earth. Your species has chosen to reject order. You have developed weapons of chaos that threaten the stability of quantum space itself. For the safety of all aligned worlds, you must be contained. The attack began without further warning. The Federation ships released waves of quantum energy designed to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer power. Their strategy was simple. If chaos disrupted their systems, they would simply use so much power that the chaos wouldn't matter. But they had underestimated what humanity had built. Neural network holding, Maya called out. Quantum coherence is fluctuating but stable. The chaos patterns are adapting faster than their attacks. On screens around the control room, they could see the effect. The Federation's quantum weapons, designed to impose perfect order on their targets, instead scattered against the unpredictable patterns generated by human consciousness. Each blast of energy was absorbed, disrupted, and dissipated by the swirling chaos of human thought. However, the Federation's attack was taking its toll. Maintaining the quantum defense network required intense concentration from thousands of linked human minds. People were tiring. We need to counterattack, Sarah decided. Maya, prepare the quantum chaos bombs. Marcus, start identifying weak points in their formation. The Federation ships maintained perfect geometric patterns in their assault, each vessel positioned according to precise mathematical principles. It was tactically optimal according to their calculations, and that made them predictable. Their ships are networked, Marcus observed, each one maintaining quantum coherence with the others. If we can disrupt that coherence, Sarah nodded, we can create a cascade effect. Maya, target the ship at these coordinates. Full chaos burst. The quantum chaos bomb launched. Not a physical weapon, but a concentrated burst of human-generated quantum patterns, carrying the unpredictable nature of consciousness itself. It struck the designated Federation ship, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ship's perfect crystalline structure began to fluctuate. The quantum coherence that maintained its form started to break down as human chaos invaded its systems. The effect spread to neighboring ships through their quantum network, each perfect vessel encountering patterns it had no defense against. It's working, Maya exclaimed. Their quantum network is destabilizing. The Federation responded by breaking their formation, attempting to isolate the affected ships. But in doing so, they had to break the very quantum coherence that made their technology so powerful. Their perfect order began to crumble. They're trying to adapt, Marcus reported, watching the patterns shift. But their ships can't maintain quantum coherence without their rigid patterns. They're forcing themselves into a lose-lose situation. Sarah watched as more Federation ships began to withdraw, their perfect crystalline forms flickering as they struggled to maintain coherence. Humanity's defense wasn't just holding. It was actively forcing the Federation to retreat. The battle lasted for hours, but its outcome was decided in those first few moments when the Federation discovered that their perfect quantum technology was vulnerable to the very chaos they had spent millennia trying to eliminate. As the last Federation ships disappeared into quantum space, a final message arrived. This outcome was not predicted. Your species requires reconsideration. In the control room, exhausted but triumphant, Sarah turned to her colleagues. They'll be back, she said. But next time, they'll have to face something they've never faced before. What's that? Maya asked. The possibility that their perfect order isn't the ultimate form of advancement. That chaos and creativity might be just as important as optimization and control. The quantum defense network continued to swirl with patterns of human thought, each mind contributing its own unique chaos to humanity's shield. They had done more than just defend Earth. They had shown the Federation a completely new way of thinking about the universe itself. The question was, how would an empire built on perfect order handle the revelation that chaos might be just as fundamental to the universe as the patterns they had spent millennia perfecting? 3 months after the battle, the quantum sensors detected something unexpected. A single Federation ship emerged from quantum space, its crystalline structure different from those they had encountered before. Instead of maintaining perfect geometric patterns, this vessel's form seemed to shift and flow, adapting to the quantum chaos around it. Dr. Sarah Chen studied the readings with intense interest. They're learning, she said softly. Look at the quantum signature. They're trying to incorporate chaos into their systems. Dr. Marcus Kumar and Dr. Maya Patel joined her at the console, watching as the ship maintained a stable position just beyond Earth's orbit. Its quantum patterns were fascinating. Not the rigid structures they were used to seeing from Federation technology, but something new, something that seemed to dance between order and chaos. The ship's message, when it came, was different too. We request dialogue, it began, the quantum states carrying the message showing the same adaptive patterns as the ship itself. Our understanding requires updating. The Federation had sent their youngest quantum architect, Xena 9, as their representative. When she appeared in the holographic conference room at the Global Defense Initiative, her form flickered with the same controlled chaos as her ship. "Your species has shown us something we had forgotten was possible," Xena 9 explained, her translated voice carrying notes of what seemed like wonder. "For millennia, we believed that perfect order was the ultimate goal of evolution. We optimized our technology, our societies, even our thoughts to eliminate chaos and uncertainty." Sarah, chosen to represent Earth's scientific community, responded carefully. "But you discovered that perfect order has its own limitations." "Yes." Xena 9's form shifted, the quantum patterns making up her hologram swirling in a way that mimicked human neural patterns. "In trying to perfect our quantum technology, we eliminated its ability to adapt, to create, to evolve. We became powerful, but static, unchanging. Your species showed us that chaos isn't just disorder, it's the source of innovation itself." The implications were staggering. The Federation, for all its advanced technology, had engineered itself into an evolutionary dead end. Their perfect order had become a prison, preventing them from developing in any way that wasn't pre-calculated and pre-approved. "Some among our leadership want to destroy your species," Xena 9 continued. "They see your chaos as an infection that could spread, disrupting the perfect order we've built. But others, myself included, see something different. We see the next step in evolution, not the elimination of chaos, but the harmony between order and chaos." Maya stepped forward. "That's what we've been trying to achieve with our quantum defense network. Not pure chaos, but controlled unpredictability. The ability to adapt and create new patterns while maintaining stability." "Exactly." Xena 9's form stabilized, taking on a more defined shape. "We propose an exchange. We will share our knowledge of quantum engineering, and in return, we ask for your help in understanding how to reintegrate chaos into our systems without losing cohesion." The negotiations that followed were unlike anything in human history. The Federation, it turned out, had spent so long perfecting order that they had forgotten how to innovate. Every advance in their technology had been carefully calculated from existing principles. They had no concept of intuitive leaps or creative solutions. Over the next year, a new kind of quantum network emerged from the collaboration. Federation scientists learned to incorporate controlled chaos into their systems, while human scientists learned to harness the precision of Federation quantum engineering. The result was something entirely new, technology that could adapt and evolve while maintaining incredible power and efficiency. "It's beautiful," Sarah said one day, watching the new quantum patterns swirl across her lab's displays. The network now showed a perfect balance between order and chaos, structure and creativity. "We were never meant to be their enemies. We were meant to be their wake-up call." Marcus nodded, studying the latest data from their collaborative experiments. They spent thousands of years trying to eliminate chaos from the universe. Instead, they just needed to learn how to dance with it. The Federation was changing. Young quantum architects like Xena 9 were incorporating human-inspired chaos patterns into their ship designs, creating vessels that could adapt and evolve in ways their perfectly ordered predecessors never could. Some older Federation members resisted, clinging to their belief in perfect order, but the evidence was undeniable. The new hybrid technology was simply better. Earth, too, was transformed by the exchange. Access to Federation quantum engineering principles accelerated human development far beyond what anyone had imagined possible. But unlike the Federation's rigid advancement, humanity's progress remained unpredictable, creative, and distinctly human. 1 year after Xena 9's arrival, Sarah stood in her lab, watching Earth's first hybrid quantum ship prepare for its maiden voyage. The vessel, a collaboration between human and Federation engineers, represented something unprecedented in the galaxy. Technology that embraced both order and chaos, precision and creativity, stability and evolution. "They thought we were a threat to galactic stability," Maya remarked, standing beside her. "Instead, we showed them that true stability comes from adaptation, not rigid control. Sarah smiled, watching the quantum patterns flow across the ship's surface, patterns that echoed the very nature of human consciousness itself. They wanted us to slow down our advancement to match their careful, calculated progress. Instead, we taught them how to speed up. The Federation had given Earth an ultimatum, demanding that we prove we could conform to their perfect order. Instead, we had proven something far more important, that the next step in evolution wasn't the elimination of chaos, but the marriage of chaos and order, of creativity and stability, of human unpredictability and Federation precision. As the hybrid ship disappeared into quantum space, carrying both human and Federation scientists on its first mission of exploration, Sarah thought about how far they had come. The Federation had feared humanity's chaos would disrupt their perfect order. They had been right, but not in the way they had expected. Sometimes, it turned out, disruption was exactly what was needed for growth. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was precisely the point.